Hello to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. club. What a beautiful day it's turned out to be. So beautiful that the sky riders are out and about and putting messages all over Sydney in the sky. And the message is very simple, that the cross equals love. Jesus equals love. What a powerful message leading in to the Easter weekend, which is coming our way. Anyway, I'm just down here at the fish markets. I just went to a meeting close by, and I thought I'd just come down here to the fish markets and have a bit of a look around and do a 5 a.m. club, because I haven't used this location in the past, but it's quite characteristic and quite spectacular and quite smelly can I add as well. Anyway, today's book summary that I'm going to do is entitled Psyched Up by Daniel McGinn, and it's a book which talks about how to psych ourselves up and how to use the power of self-talk and all of those sorts of skills to help us become peak performers, to improve our performance and to improve our outcomes. But the author says at the end of the day, practice is vital. We all understand that practice is vital for any high performance. But as the author suggests here, that sooner or later, we eventually run out of rehearsal time. So there's only so much practicing that we can do before the time comes for us to actually perform and start delivering on our promises and pushing forward to our goals and aspirations. So this book basically looks at the science of mental preparation and peak performance. And a lot of us will have experienced over the years the challenges of not being ready or not being able to perform, should I say, on call. And there are things that we all are aware of, such as stage fright and performance anxiety, that impact even the greatest performers. So this book here is going to take us through the science behind peak performance and mental preparation, and give us some pointers in terms of what to do and sometimes even what not to do. So where does this book take us? Let's have a look. The first main point that comes from this text is that if you want to fend off performance anxiety, we need to reappraise and center ourselves, because everybody has the potential of stuffing it up and being caught up, as we said, with the challenges of performance anxiety and stage fright. But what the author says is that if you start feeling it, or if you start to be overwhelmed by it, what we need to do is we need to reappraise. So step back, take a breath and refocus, and also center yourself. Because severe anxiety comes before big tasks, because what happens is that our brain, our chemistry, our bodily chemistry and our primitive brain kicks into action, and we enter the fight or flight response, which causes adrenaline to surge into our bloodstream and throughout our endocrine stream. Our blood pressure naturally increases and our heart rate starts running at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Our bodies, our cells are flooded with hormones, and this flooding process can't be stopped in any way, shape or form. Once the adrenaline starts flooding into your system, there's nothing much you can do other than to try and channel it. To try and channel it so that you can make it, or you can try and leverage it, but you can't stop it. And I've also read or learnt in another book summary, that when somebody's pissed off, when somebody's angry, it takes at least half an hour for that person to calm down, for that adrenaline to go through their system and to dissipate. So the author here talks about a life hack where you can learn to creatively transform anxiety into excitement. Wouldn't it be great to be able to flip anxiety on its head and turn it into excitement? Because we all know how great it is to be excited and how shitty it is to be anxious. So how do we do this? How do we transform anxiety, that negative, terrible feeling? How do we turn it into a powerful form of excitement? I can see that Skyrider in the distance doing another cross equals heart, Jesus equals love. How wonderful indeed. This morning I kicked off the day and it was sprinkling and cold, then it was blowy and overcast, and now it's turned into a brilliant blue-skied autumn Sydney day. How wonderful. It just goes to show that the weather here in Sydney is always changing, and sometimes changing for the better and other times changing for the worst. But one thing for sure and for certain is that it's always keeping us on our toes. So I remember years ago there was a personality on television, Big Mal. Does anybody remember Big Mal? Big Mal always used to say, "I'm excited." And he used to say it and he used to feel it, and it was so infectious that you'd get to feel it as well. His famous words, "I'm excited." So what we learned from this book is we need to learn to reappraise anxiety into excitement. And we do this by using a number of techniques. And one technique is to learn how to breathe it out. To slow down your breathing, because through breathing you oxygenate, and once you oxygenate, then your heart rate tends to drop and you release the muscle tension, which is causing the secretion of these hormones into your body. And one of the key techniques that the author talks about is to be able to release the tension and release it through your belly button, through your breathing techniques. Let's keep moving on this book summary today. So the second formal point to come out of this book is the importance of having rituals and beliefs to enhance your state of mind before a showdown. And this is where our having core beliefs, core religious beliefs can help us all. Because what it does is it enhances our state of being before a showdown, before a moment of engagement. And I guess that's probably brought to a head when you see the statue of David, which shows him in a pose just before he takes on David. Is it David and Goliath? That's right, he was taking on Goliath. And that Michelangelo has captured that moment, and it's the moment after he decides to take action and before he's taken action. But it's that look of belief, that self-belief, that look of confidence, that look of determination. And researchers say that it works, that a pre-routine practice is always important. And we do it all the time when we play sport. You know, when you're playing golf, we'll take practice shots before we tee off. And you need to do a pre-routine because, as we said, the scientists say that it works, and you need to be consistent with your routine for it to be useful. I don't know if anybody watches the tennis, but Nadal is famous for his pre-service routine where he'll touch his ears, his nose, his underpants. He'll tap the ball down a certain number of times. He'll fold his hair behind his ears, and he'll just smash the ball and usually get a very, very good outcome. And athletes are very, very attuned to having rituals, and it's shown that athletes who have rituals that set them up for the meeting or set them up for the competition tend to do better than those who don't. And group rituals are also great. I know that my Greek Orthodox faith, the Greek Orthodox Church, has many rituals that we practice the same way over thousands of years. And the Greek Orthodox are renowned, and the Byzantine culture of routine is very, very well recognized throughout the world. But the important thing to understand, according to this author, is that you need to believe in the ritual. You need to believe that the ritual is going to deliver an outcome for you. Because people who believe in objects can hold the power of those who touch them. Hence why sportsmen throw their rackets or throw their shirts into the crowd, and those pieces of clothing are revered because many people believe that that object has the power based on the person who's touched it. And the last point to come out of this book, and we're finishing up now, is that, and it's probably the most powerful point that comes out of this book, is the power of competition. To know that competition will most certainly improve performance. It's important to understand that you need to compete, and that competition brings out the best in us, and to respect the people who compete against us and not to think ill of them, because the only way that you're going to get better at what you do is when you benchmark and baseline your performance against somebody else's. And it's only through competition that you realise that we lift our game, and that competition brings out the best in both teams, both athletes, or whoever is engaged in that competition. Competition and rivalry. The bottom line that we learn from scientists is that competition and rivalry bring out the best in us. And there are examples here that a cyclist who is running against or competing against a rival will do much better than a cyclist who is just competing against the clock. And the other thing also, which I learnt, which I wasn't quite aware of, but I can appreciate how it works. The author says here that it's better to compete against someone you know rather than a stranger. Because we've got more to win or more to or more to lose, more so because of the bragging rights. And I guess that's about it. That's about it from this 5 a.m. club on this beautiful afternoon down here at the fish markets, the Sydney fish markets. I'll just take a walk up here and check things out. But thank you once again for joining me on Jim's 5 a.m. club. And we went through a book, another book summary. So we're progressing closer and closer to the 1,000. The book summary that we covered today is entitled Psyched Up by Daniel McGinn. And I'm hoping that you got as many hacks out of this as what I got. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable. And most importantly, let's look at incorporating the science of mental preparation into our lives so that we can become better versions of ourselves and to be able to be the wind beneath the wings of those around us, and also to be able to live, learn and pass it on. So I look forward to coming to you again from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment, where we can hopefully get through the afternoon and make this day a very special day. Anyway, I just got a message on my phone from my stockbroker where he's suggesting that we buy some shares. So I'll finish off now and give him a call and see what he's up to. Take care. Filakia from Jim's 5 a.m. Club, and we'll talk again. Yassas, and thank you for joining me.